And then this will
Yep.
probably fill in a lot of the questions I've got, and then the questions I put in the email we'll just kind of tie it all together. But
Perfect. All right, so let me I'll bring this over here. So a couple things I'll show you. So let me just share my calendar with you. My calendar is looking better, but it's still not great. Can you see that?
Yep.
So, and I had to shift to 30-minute sessions because I couldn't get to everybody, but I also have to keep like a little bit of time in there. So it's not, before I used to have them like back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And like I'm physically and mentally I was like, I have to have a buffer because some of these run over, and then just the administrative component of it. Like I had to put that in there, but even still, it's too much. This is too much at this point. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my calendar with you, and I have from 4:30 on blocked off just so I could be present with my kids. But I'm still doing night trainings. Like Tuesday, I have a client from DC that I work with, and I do coaching with her, and I get a lot of requests for weekends, and I try to accommodate some of them, but recently I haven't been because it's just been too much. But this is typical. Last week wasn't so bad, but like, look at this week. Like, and then this is getting into like abundance, but you could see like it's a packed schedule. This week I took my wife to Gettysburg, but so it's too much for one person. But just to kind of show you what I'm looking at for this week. So basically these are a mixture of discovery calls. Now, some of these say discovery calls, but like this one, Deepak is a client. So we didn't have the system that we use is called HubSpot. When we first started, we didn't have separate links. Now we have ones for coaching calls. We have one for sales follow-up. We have ones for all different types of meetings. So some of these are going to say discovery call, but Deepak is a client. So this will be a coaching session. This one here, Sam, he's a student. So this is a coaching session. Rolling his win up. Okay, just making sure. This one, Christopher Garland, this is a coaching session. This one here, coaching session. So this is a full day of coaching. This one here, this is an actual discovery sales call. That's a sales call. This is so this guy's VIP. So he's a new client. He's coming on board. And then this is a training that I'm doing for Steve Turley for new clients that potentially we're going to bring in. So
Steve Turley, that's actually the connection that I've got with Michael Lush is after about the third time of listening to Michael Lush on Steve Turley. I'm like, let me check it out. And that's where I did my Replace Your Mortgage, and then worked with Matt Workman on a couple things. And then the Create Your Own Economy, of course. Yeah. But Steve Turley, awesome. I liked him. When Rush Limbaugh passed away, Steve Turley kind of became my probably where I'd just tune in to, hey, what's that other perspective of news? Because you just can't, you got to go out and find the truth somewhere.
Yeah. So I actually did an interview with him on his, I guess it's his podcast that they published, and then promoted a training. So I'm doing a training this week from 3 to 4. And then potentially what's going to come out of there are new discovery calls. So these are the things that we're working on, is creating new ways to generate leads to bring in new clients that are outside of our current Replace Your University. So where I've really been putting my energy is how do we bring more people in to share with them what's possible, and then make them new clients for Replace Your Dollar. So this the Turley thing was something that Michael set up for us, but it's just one of the many things that we're doing to continue to pull people in.
So you're looking at an actual, you get to be interviewed by Steve Turley?
Yeah, he
It'd be like
interviewed me.
on a show?
Yeah. So
Dude, you got to let me know when that happens.
it's
I
out.
love Steve Turley.
Yeah. Let me see. Steve, I just had it up. Steve Turley.
Because I actually haven't listened to him much at all the last few weeks. I've been actually 4 or 5 hours a night of sleep and just burning the candle from both ends.
It's funny though, some of the comments, they were crushing me. People were saying some really mean things.
Hey, gang.
So you already done your Steve Turley?
Is our government on the brink of default?
Yeah, this is
many big players on Wall Street who are actually preparing for just that.
Yeah, focus on the default.
What are the implications of that? And what should patriots be doing to protect our assets and our loved ones? Well, to answer those questions and more, I'm joined by Jeremy Ritz, who after years in education is
celebrity in my eyes.
Yeah, so there I am. So, but it had 3,184 viewers. So then they could, this link here, if they clicked on this, they could sign up for this free training. And then if they like what they see, then they schedule a discovery call, and that's the funnel. Then where I'm going to redirect my attention is on the sales component to bring the clients in, and then still do some of the coaching. But kind of that's where I'm really looking to you to help. If I can bring the clients in and maybe even just do the majority of the onboarding and you do some of the onboarding, then I can just keep replenishing the clients and keep bringing them in, because that's what's going to sustain this. And that's what's going to bring the income in. So that's kind of where I'm at. Is there's 3 types of calls. There's the discovery call, which are the sales. If it's a VIP, that means I just explain to them what they get as part of Replace Your Dollar. And then if it's a coaching session, it's coaching, and follow-up is just a follow-up. So where I'm going to move to is the discovery calls with some coaching. And then I have another guy who I'm working with. He is a student that I'm going to, and he asked me about doing some of the sales, the discovery calls. So this is Sam. I'm going to train Sam to take some of the discovery calls, so that, if we start getting an influx, which is what I want to happen, then there's 2 of us to do them. So then that would be 3 of us starting out as we go and we grow this thing bigger.
Perfect.
So, so that's so what I'm going to share my calendar with you now. Obviously I'm trusting you to do this, to share because I do have other stuff on here, like family things or whatever. But let me see. I don't even know how to share. How do I share this thing? Here, tasks, add-ons. I know there's a way to do it.
Yeah, I've actually, I can't say I've shared Google, a lot of Outlook.
Let's see, create. I'll figure that out, just so I can share it with you.
Yeah, because I again, not intimate with the Outlook Gmail calendar, but like Outlook is good in the sense of you can share, give permissions to whomever, and yet you've got that private button to where no one would see or have any details on that particular meeting. Assuming Google Calendar will have the same thing. So because I think that's exactly what you'd want. My work calendar, I'm able to put my personal stuff on there, but it's private. No one has a clue. What it is.
I mean, the only thing would be like visit mom or like take the kids here. So I mean, there's nothing, but just, it doesn't matter to me. It's just you I'd be sharing it with. But so yeah, I definitely want to get this to you. And the thing, if you could even help with something, we could talk about that toward the end of this meeting, but help pull some of these off me this week, that would be phenomenal, because I'm getting ready to get crushed again. So here's the other thing is Jeremy. I talked to Jeremy, and he's like, why don't we do this? He's like, let's set it up where you throw it out to the clients, your clients, come down to my house in Nashville. we'll do a 2 to 3 day retreat at my house where it'll be an intensive week, whatever remaining sessions you have. It's part of this experience. We're going to teach you trading, and Jeremy Newsom's there too. It's at his house. So you're basically converting your remaining sessions into this opportunity to come down and trade with the two Jeremys in Nashville for 3 days. So then he was like, if you do it that way, he's like, then you could clear your calendar out. You don't have to worry about doing however many hundreds of one-on-ones you have left. And it's an immersive experience where everybody's together.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I think people would jump on that. I mean, I don't know.
You'd have a large percentage, some would, I mean, good grief.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. He's probably done that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably talking from experience,
Yeah. And again, like me teaching trading, whatever, I'm successful but I don't have the experience he does.
Right.
And he's offering to help. I'm like, so I told him about you too. I told him how, you and I are going to be really spearheading everything now. So, the other thing too. So this is completely separate, but they're doing this brain research where they're trying to identify, and you may have heard of this from real life trading. They're trying to identify the brain state that people are in when they trade to see if they're, So
I'm very familiar with it and read it. You got to have the 100,000+ account or something like that, funded or whatever. Some criteria I didn't meet yet. I would have jumped on that in a heartbeat.
Okay, because I was going to throw that out there for you if that was something. Because I think I'm going to try it. I just want to make sure I understand everything fully. But because he's asking me, he's like, "You have any traders that'd be interested?" I'm like, "I'm sure I do." So I wanted to throw that. I know I'm jumping all around here.
Yep.
All right. So anyway, that's the calendar. So you could see, for all these meetings, there's follow-up emails that have to happen. There's the videos from the sessions that have to be uploaded. There's follow-up. So it's not just I do the session and it's over. It's the residual.
I know. East coasting session I've done. Obviously, I've got to get to where I'm an hour, and that's my challenge. The follow on, because I really believe where I'm delivering a much superior service is to close it out with a follow on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is what we did do. And this is the expectation going forward. And they got something to at least point back on. So I can always look back and assess, hey, this is the consistent information that went out.
Yeah.
Because, 1 out of the 3, 2 of them, I think, are fired up. They're going to be very blast. But I think it's Eric. He hadn't done anything from last week to this week. Conflict's busy.
That's on him.
But I believe where we deliver an excellent product is that follow through. And so when I look at me budgeting time, I'm like, okay, for every 1 hour coaching session, I need to plan on probably a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 hour of really capturing the essence of that meeting. So it's really 2 hours every time you got 1 hour, I think, to do it right.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably 30 minutes, maybe to an hour, it won't be near as much, but when you start looking at that additional coordination, because like Wednesday, and I'm all over the place too, because that's the thing you're not going to like is this week, I take off on Wednesday morning and I'm state softball tournament for my daughter that goes through June 3rd. So this is a challenging week. Tuesday's wide open. But I'm actually going to drop a resignation letter on Tuesday and work that. And I'm looking at 15 June being my last day. That's where I'm at.
That's awesome.
And I've got basically 2 areas I've identified that I will focus on within Boeing to ease the pain of my short-term exit strategy, and it's going to be hiring, and it's going to be, I've got a couple, I hone all the knowledge on this backdoor operational platform for training, and the training is a big deal. If people aren't trained, someone gets hurt and we have issues. I focus on those 2 things. That will ease the pain. But that is important for you to know is, I can do this quick, but June 15th, it's going to be a challenge. So we got to try to war game. How can we make you successful, keep things going? up through June 15th. But around that time, I mean, brother, game on. So that becomes, I think we got to reverse engineer that timeline the best we can.
And I'll be able, I mean, some of these, like Deepak is notorious for canceling like 5 minutes before.
Frustrating. That's gotta be frustrating.
Yeah. And then what it does too is it ties up the calendar for somebody else who wants to get in. Sam is great. I just we did pre-market on Friday with Sam. Let's see. Chris, this guy he was the first client. He started in January, did one session, and just recently signed up for session 2. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how are you making this much of an investment? You're not like, I don't, and I'm not chasing anyone down. Like I'm here to help you. If you want help, if you're not going to put into this, you're not going to, it's
80-20 rule.
Yeah.
So 80-20 rule.
Yep. And then Summer. So it's Summer and her husband, they're in Utah. They just sold their business for like 1.5 million. And they actually signed up for the massive package. And they're one-on-ones for forever. So they're going to be with us for a while, but they're great people. So anyway, if there are any of these that you can help with, that's great. We'll get to that in a second, but let me go over to, all right. So here's the processes. So first up, these are the new clients for just May, right? And I'm sure a lot of these VIPs you see on here that you've already worked with, Eric, Billy, and Jim. But there's Michael, Joe actually sells Replace Your Mortgage. So I'm doing the one-on-ones with him. He got in as a VIP from one-on-one. So I'm training him, but I might ask you to say, hey, Jake, would you be willing to pick up a one-on-one with Joe? He's a super cool guy. So he wants to learn how to trade. The rest of these are VIPs. The guys in bold and the girls in bold, they're, I haven't closed the deal yet, but they're close to being closed. I just closed Stacy. That's one of the emails that I copied you on, which I think would be maybe a good first run through the intake and like the whole process for you if you're open to it. And then the Summer Academy right now, I have 8 people signed up for that. So here's the other thing too. This is not going to be just new clients coming in. We're also going to be running. So I told you about the boot camp in September. We can create trainings that are live over a period of time. And we have a fee for it because we're essentially the information we're giving them is going to make them a ton of money. So there's a ton of value here. And that's what Jeremy said to me yesterday. He's like, do you see now where with coaching, you're actually paying someone for you to coach them? I was like, yeah, I see now. Like but people don't think that. They hear the number you give them whenever you tell them what it costs but through trading, you're better served to just trade, but people need to know this stuff, right? So anyway, this just gives you a view of the clients on tap to be coming in. So here's what, and I skipped this step with one of the clients, the VIPs you're currently working with. From now on, until they do their intake with me, they're not going into the groups because I want them to have that foundational first teaching where I go over how the market moves up and down, consolidation, support and resistance, emotion, trading view, pick your stocks. I want them to have all that with me where I go through the self-assessment. So I'm not putting them in there until they do that. And if they drag their feet and don't do it, that's not, we're here to work with people who are committed, diligent, and this is not like something where, hey, come on, I want you to learn how to, you either want this or not. And this is, and I don't want to be negative, but I'm sure you probably are similar thinking with trading. If you don't have that mindset, this isn't going to work for you.
Nope.
You can't just
you got to be hungry.
Yeah, 100%. So that just gives you an idea of who's coming in May. And I still have a ton of discovery calls I have to go through, right? Now July is going to be slow because I'm kind of hitting pause, but everybody's off anyway.
Yep.
Then in August, we're going to be ramping up again.
So this is May clients.
Yeah.
And these are all essentially like averaging 14 sessions. So that's say nominally 14 weeks just on May clients, so you're talking 3 months of consistent coaching. And then June, we're expecting probably very similar, if not even greater.
Yeah.
July, hey, maybe we get to catch our breath a little bit.
Yep.
Hallelujah. And then August, it starts picking up. So
yeah,
wow, you're looking at each month, your growth is almost like a whole new coach, to absorb that bandwidth. So that is very positive. That's incredible.
Yeah. So here's the thing though. Remember, they're no more the one, it's just the 2 one-on-one. So it'll be like a sandwich. 1-on-1 to kick it off, the 12 groups, and then the 1-on-1 at the end where we kind of review and then give them a path forward. The other thing that we're going to do in that final session is say, hey, if you're interested in the next step, we do offer 1-on-1 coaching, but at that point, our time is highly, highly valuable. If you want to 10x what you're doing, you're looking at over $1,000 an hour for a session for us. And not everybody's going to do it, but there are people who want to level up. Right. And so you do 5 hours, that's $5,000. And anything that you would do with that, when you finish with these clients and you do one of those closing things and you put that out there, that's all yours. So, and trust me, they want it. They want it. So I'm just grabbing something to drink real fast, Jake. All right. Any questions so far about what I went over here?
Okay. So the, each client, you've got your initial assessment, and is that one of the 14, or is that your initial assessment? And then
it's one of the 14. Yep.
One of the 14. And then they get placed into a group.
Yes.
And then basically there is 12 group sessions, and then and then a final one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where the upsell kicks in.
Yep.
And then we get them into the one-on-one as a different package, 1,000 a month. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah. And that upsell, that's something that is whatever you want to charge for your time. At that point, when you're upselling after 3 months, you're going to be making, you're making 7,000 trading now. You're going to want to charge over $1,000 an hour. Yeah.
And I look at it as like, it's one of your R's. What are you risking here?
Mm-hmm.
And
here's what you're going to find too. As you're teaching this stuff, you're going to become such a better trader, because it's just that repetition, looking at the charts. Like, I'm excited for the back trading sessions that I'm doing, because I get to practice and
I know
for it.
Yeah. And real quick on that note, I think I did put it in my notes, but I am signing up for that.
Okay.
Because, and I'm looking at it. Oh, well, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
So I was not at all even hesitating to do that. But I am looking at it, one, obviously for the back trading experience, but I'm looking at it through the lens. I'm going to host a back trading session, for RYD. I want to do that quickly.
And that's what I want you to do, is to be like, hey, Jeremy, I see a need here for back trading around the 10 VWAP crossover. I'm planning a 5-week session, X amount of dollars. Yeah. I want you to, and again, you can, whatever you create there and whatever they pay, that's yours. You keep it. So
that would be very cool. And then just the idea of, boom, you get a crisis, you've got this scheduled, dude, I can't show up this night, and you've got people already paid. They're expecting these particular dates. Having that bench is critical for long-term quality service, because you're going to have a night, or something's going to pop up where, hey, Sam, Jake, which one of you guys knows this? So that's my perspective. I'm going to do it. Obviously, up until I might just be late that first 1 or 2 sessions until I get out of W2.
Yeah. Yeah, but it'll be fun. I mean, really what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show like a process of like visually tracking your progress. And I'm going to tell everybody, we're going to pick an R together, like a high R. And then we're just going to go through and I'm going to show, like, look over this 6 sessions, look at the profit we generated. Like, I want to show that. And then I'm going to do something special with like some gifting, some funded accounts, some prizes, maybe like a RLT retreat or something, just to, show everybody that, hey, like there's value in what you're doing. Keep on the path kind of deal. So let me go through here. These are the processes, right? So new clients, so I take care of the sales. And then basically what would happen, I might be like, hey, Jake, we've got, so Stacy Rondon and her husband, I can't remember her husband's name. Great people. They want to leave their W-2. They want out. So you're perfect for them if you want to take them as your first group. So I already sent them the self-assessment. They have a real life trading account. I think they already have a trading view. They just need to sign up for their first one-on-one. Then we do that first one-on-one session. It's an hour, and that's going over the self-assessment. And the one thing that I like to really get clear about is, all right, what are you looking to generate per month in terms of profit? So whatever number they give me, I break it down. All right, you're going to need to make $91 a day, 91 over 5 days. What is that? 400 something, right? Is my math right on that? Yeah.
Times 5 is 4,500, sir.
4,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 40. So that's what you're looking at. And then, like, I haven't set a lofty goal, but the reason why that's important is because when they do start back trading, I want them to put their profits in context with their goals, and then just have them. And then I go into, the simplistic of, hey, we trade the markets up, we trade them down. When they're sideways, we don't do anything. We sit on the sidelines. Then I go over sentiment, how emotion drives the market. And then it's just the logistics and technicals with TradingView, picking their, I only say 4 to 5 stocks now. I used to say 5 to 6, but just become masters of those stocks. And then from there, support and resistance, and then they're on their way. So that's that first session. Then from there, I say, based on where they're at. Now, if somebody comes in who's like has background, then that first session is going to look different. But the majority of our clients are beginners. So then you place them, say, hey, all right, you're placed in the beginner room. You get, and I don't remember if we told them they can attend 14 or 12. It might be 14. I may have said they get 14, which whatever, doesn't matter. So they'll go in, and then we just have to keep track of how many they attend, because they get 14 and that's it. That's where the challenge is going to be, is as they start progressing, we probably don't want to keep them in the beginner room. We're going to move them to the intermediate room.
Yep.
Which that room is not live yet because we don't have any. Now, I do have a client. Her name is Tish Troutman. She has her Series 7. So she's got background. I can't start her in the beginner. So she's going to go to the intermediate. So now, but I haven't had my first one-on-one with her, the intake. So then that intermediate's going to be live. I don't know if we're going to get to the advanced room for a while.
Right.
And that's when we were going to get into options and those types of things. And that would be Brian would come in and do the options, or we could do the options, or I could do the options. But I think the majority of what we're doing now is going to be beginners. But when you see like Billy or Jim, because I know they're both gung-ho about getting out, when you see that they hit that next step, then say, all right, hey guys, there's no point in you being here now. You need to, and you don't have to do that in a group, because that might make Eric feel bad, or, it can just be an email. Like, hey, you're now placed into the intermediate group. Congratulations, something like that. So then we'll keep track of their sessions.
What's the main difference between intermediate and beginner? And the reason I'm asking that is, I guess I visualize around session 5 or 6, a beginner's group, they might be at that intermediate level that we're screening for. And do they go somewhere else? And then I recycle, and here's gym clients. They're all brand new, and I pick up them. So it's not.
Yeah. For me, it's whenever when they start back trading the 10 EMA at that point, then I think they need to go to intermediate, because then we're going to start layering in indicators like the VWAP, the 10 crossing over, the 20, 50, 100, 200. We're going to be looking at volume. We're going to be looking at the SMAs. So I think that beginning part is just the basics, like candlesticks, support resistance, double tops, double bottoms. Here's your 10 EMA. Here's what it is. Here's what a 10 EMA setup is. Here's how to back trade. All right, you got that? Like, now we're kicking you out to the intermediate room because we're going to blow your mind with these other indicators. We're going to start creating glasses for you to wear as you look at charts, and you want to see the charts through this lens. Yep. And then it's just repetition practice until they get that and they stick. And then probably the way we want to do it, just to create like a desire, like, all right, well, what's next, is maybe they get one session of advanced and then they're done before they do the one-on-one. And then that leaves that hunger, like, oh, let's go. What's next? Yeah. But I think that's the biggest thing. When they get like when I first teach you the 10 EMA, I don't teach the wait so many candles, wait this amount of time, taking out the high, no, it's just bear candle above the 10, bull candle below the 10, entry above, stop near support, profit near, just get the mechanics down. Back trade it. Once you do that, and I go over a few trades with you move on, because then we got to start, because it's going to get hard if we have discrepancies in ability levels, and it's going to be hard to serve all of them at once with just one of us. So we'll have to push them into the intermediate.
Okay. And that's interesting, because I'm looking at how I've approached it so far. The interaction, what I assessed they were getting, not getting. And then I look back at, hey, what challenges did I have? And again, I was gung-ho. I was going out getting all this other information. And I recognized right away that, hey, just 10 EMA was not good. You know, a lot of 0.5, 0.6s in there, but it wasn't until I really started understanding the power of a directional 20 SMA or another SMA with the 10 EMA and that double top, double bottom. I really gained the consistency and confidence. And so I am tying that together. So they get how important and, you know, trend. In other words, I'm tying the trend and the support and resistance and 10 EMA in as one package. I'm not really layering them, because that cost me a lot of time, and I really had to go out and find that on my own. And then probably because I was finding on my own, give you a different perspective of where I was. And so we kind of kept going. But I'm just kind of trying to fill in some of those gaps, as I want to make this, what I went through, what I had to go research, I want to tie that in there. Because if that was missing for me, then I believe. So that's some of the beginner stuff I really, you know, because here I've only had 2 sessions, and the critical understanding of how to know what trend you're in. Based on probably a parent time frame, and then 10 EMA, and then that support resistance. You almost can't separate the 3. 10 EMA is only good if you really it's a momentum within a trend. And that's going to give them the confidence, I think, in a shorter amount of time.
The thing to keep the thing to keep in mind, just in comparing you to other clients, is you were, like you said, you were hungry. You were putting a ton of time in outside. And I've had some clients, still have clients that are hungry and doing the same thing, but a lot of them really need to be spoon fed. And I'm not saying that to be negative. We just have to be careful as we're rolling it out, that we make it like we're almost putting ourselves in the mindset, all right, if I didn't have any knowledge of this at all, I'm just getting started, like making it simple, because I'll have some clients are like, well, what else do I need to use to be able to trade? I'm like, no, I just want you to find a bear candle above the 10 first. I want you to crawl before you can walk. You know what I mean? Because if they start trying to do too much, you know, but I with the trend, whatever you're doing with that, great, but just almost like, how do I make this as simple as possible for them to get? Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. I'm processing it. So I think I'm really at at a perfect point, and to make sure we don't move on until what I've got mastered, because they understand that the 10 EMA, what it looks like. We haven't actually went through all the conditions and the rules yet. But again, within those rules is, hey, what's your trend? What's your support and resistance? Bull hammer. So nope, we're on the same page. And I think it really does.
Because I feel like,
but yeah, caution, don't go too fast, too much. Because I sense that, but with Jim and Billy, man, great questions and their light bulb moments. And they are asking about, was that a engulfing candle? Well, no, that's an inside candle. Well, that's what I meant. But I'm like, I see where your thought is, and I'm like, that's awesome. Because what does that mean for that next 10 EMA candle?
And the thing is too, I mean, if the majority of the group is picking it up and are nailing it, then Eric's just got to elevate his game at that point too. And I'm not saying that to be, I keep prefacing the things that I say, but if he's not putting in the effort, but Billy and Jim are, then we're going to cater to Billy and Jim, because eventually what's happening is Billy's going to stop attending. Or Eric's going to stop attending the sessions. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's not our fault. So
no, and if it's a matter of, hey, again, I would do that on my own pocket. It's like, if I go point to point with Eric and make sure he's tracking and he's good, and if he needs an extra 30 minutes in there to have an offline discussion, and because again, we're partnering with them in their success. So
there's
a way to navigate it. There's a way to navigate it.
Yep. So just to come back through here, because I do have a coaching session at 3. I can't escape them. So jumping down here. So it's that first session, one-on-one. So with a 30 session package, they get 6 one-on-ones with me. They get 2 with Newsom, and they get 22 group sessions. So I haven't sold one of those yet with our new package, and we only have Summer and John from the original one-on-ones. They get 24 one-on-ones with me. When we get that to Jeremy's package, when we sell that one, you and I will just have to coordinate that. And maybe I'll take 3, the one-on-ones, you take 3, and then we go from there. So then all the group sessions. So as they're going through the groups, we're being mindful of their progress, almost like a teacher. We're keeping track of their progress, little notes like, hey, Eric needs a little push. Billy and Jim are my gold stars. And then move them up. Hey, you guys are moving to the intermediate. Then continue with Eric in the beginner. And then these next round, once I finish the onboarding with these guys down here, then I'll just be like, hey, Jake, I got five clients coming this week. Right. So I'll be updating you as they're getting ready to come in, because they're gonna trickle in slow. It's not going to be like a huge explosion, because, and if I go to my calendar, let me see. That's a new client potentially. Kyle is awesome. He's killing it. He's frustrated with 8 cap though. Sean is killing it. Josiah is killing it. Those are all existing. Deepak. Sam is killing it. Christopher, I don't know about. So I'm just trying to look for some of these VIPs. That's a discovery. So Steve is going to be, he'll be a new one coming in, beginner. He is an existing client. This is a VIP. He'll be coming in, beginner. That's a one-on-one. So I don't even know when these guys are on here. They're probably pushed out. This is that's a discovery. Anyway, they're going to be coming, and I'll just keep you updated on how that's going to happen. So then all the administrative components that go along with new clients, it's the email communications. You saw a sample of what I sent to
Great template.
Yep. And so for, if what I would like you to help me with, if we do get new clients, and we can figure out how to split them up, but putting that email together, taking the self-assessment, I can share that with you. And then just making a copy putting the client's name up top in the title and then sending it over to them so they can edit it. So that's part of that first email. And then they sign up using the links. So I'll give you all the links. So I'll give you access to all these. So these are discovery meeting, VIP meeting, coaching meeting, follow-up meeting. The follow-up is for sales, for me to close a sale. So you'll have access to all those links that you have to send them, making sure that they're, hey, check your real life trading dashboard. You should have your account set up. I sent you a link for that. And, just making sure they have their courses. I also give them a suggested sequence of study for real life trading. And it's always beginner, which they don't have the original beginner course, which it's phenomenal. I don't know why it's not on there anymore. The beginner, then the intermediate, and then I have them go to the day trading techniques. So those are the three, and that's enough to really last the duration that we're going through. Now, if they crush all those, those courses are so meaty that I would say, hey, I would encourage you to go back through and rewatch. And then when they're finished, then they have access to all that. They can continue their education, but we really want them to master the fundamentals. That's key. That's the thing. You can get fancy with your Fibonacci retracement and your Elliott wave. To me, you don't need it to trade successfully. I feel like it's just simple pattern recognition. So I think those basics are the most important, but they do have access to it. So just make sure they have that. Then there's also creating the Zoom link. You said you have your own Zoom, so that's fine. However you want to share. So I upload my videos to my YouTube, but you seem like you have a process for that. So however you want.
I've done it two different ways. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Much easier to upload to the cloud Zoom, as soon as the course is over. And then I did share that. The first time I actually downloaded to my own computer, then I had to upload on YouTube, and that it took like 2 tries. It was a lot more time consuming. So that's my only thing. But I guess the YouTube channel would be kind of nice potentially, because then you've got your library, because Zoom will expire. You've got to download them anyway.
Yep.
But that way that library via YouTube repository is kind of maturing, I guess, as we go. That might be good.
Yep. And I'll show you mine. So this is our courage pays better than fear, but so it's just my personal YouTube. So what I'll do, and they're all unlisted, but everything is here. So if I ever need to pull video or even keep track, it's all there. So that's what I take it, I upload it. It's unlisted, so nobody can get it. So it's all right there.
And then when you do share those with your students, then they just really have permissions just to that unique video.
Click a link. Yep.
That works.
I get shareable link. So when it's unlisted, only people who have access to the link can see it. So it's me and them, because some of them at first, well, it's on YouTube. Yeah, but it's private. You have it and I have it. That's it.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And that's the route I'm going to go.
Yeah. Because then, I mean, you could, let's say that you have like a good lesson that you had. You might ask the client you had a good lesson with, hey, do you mind if I share this? I have a client that's really struggling. I'd really like them to see this video. And then you have a library. I think I got 159 videos in here right now. And then some of them I forget to record, which I hate when I do that. So then upload it, share it. And I don't
Our one-on-one initial that I don't believe was recorded. And
Okay.
That's what I wanted to go back and do the other day. I'm like, oh, I got this email here. Let me go back at least and relive mine. And that's the one that wasn't recorded.
I see. I don't even watch these things. I just share them. I hate seeing myself on there. So that's a process for new clients. Existing clients, it's preparing the agenda off the previous session. And I'll be honest with you, and I've been telling clients, guys, this is one thing that I've had to sacrifice with everything that I'm doing, trying to run all this myself, is the agenda. I can't keep up. So I'm just getting them the video, but I need to get back to updating it, because even if I don't have if I don't have notes after, it at least has the agenda. So that's kind of where I'm going to. It's just the agenda, but also too, for me, I got to keep track of what number I'm on. because if I don't have a number, then, then I'm doing more than I should, which everybody's pretty honest. So it's not like I have to worry about that. But so getting back to just having like a quick agenda, and I could see, so Cassie, this is, I'm just doing this. I'm not doing anything else. I can't, because I know it sounds crazy. It doesn't look like this is a lot, but it takes a lot of brain power, especially when you're like, damn it, I got a call coming up in 5 minutes. Like, I got to get this done. I got to upload this video. I took on way too much is what I did. So good problem to have, but you can see that. I'm sure you're seeing the areas where I'm struggling.
No, I do. I mean, it's a nice problem to have, but and there's just a lot of things going on, though. We're a step ahead of it. Timing is good. We can navigate this I think there's some challenges over the next couple of weeks. We can do it. We can do it.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Because I haven't got a response back from Billy, Jim, or Eric I'm on the road Wednesday, at our normal time. So I'm waiting for feedback from them. I want to do it Tuesday. If not, I got to figure out, hey, what's going to work.
Yeah. And if you need me to pick it up, just tell me. And I'll just probably have to do a little bit later of a start date, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go through your calendar. I'm gonna use the video to correlate. Hey, what are actual sessions that I could help you with? But I think there's a couple I can still help you with during the week.
Okay.
My goal is not to give you more, but take some. That's my goal. This is my Super Bowl event annually. Softball tournament.
Hey, your daughter's first. Family first.
He's rocking it. This is the one thing that actually is making me leave my W-2 job too.
Yeah, and this
is a conflict.
Yep, and that's the other thing too. And I have trouble with this. Like I hate saying no, but like, and Michael and Edmund tell me too, like, hey, you have to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to be good for your clients. If you can't get it in on a certain time and you have to move it, you have to. They're still going to get the session. But, don't short circuit. And, I'm at the point where I think I have short circuited, but I don't want to have a heart attack because I can't keep up. So anyway, so it's creating the Zoom link, conducting the session. We're recording the meeting. Then we upload the meeting, share the video, and then that's it. Hey, great session. Here's a link to the video. Next time we're going to talk about this. Don't forget about your homework, identifying double tops, double bottoms. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much. So that would be, and the good thing is you've been through this with me, and the areas where I had blind spots where things could be tweaked and done better. So being that you've gone through it, I trust you to, however you see fit to, and probably something like this will eventually occur. Well, Jeremy said that like when I'm doing this, like I should be doing this. If we ever come to a spot like that, that's a great way to do it. But I also want you to consider, you know what I mean? Just so we're on the same, and that's just like, well, because I tell clients all the time too, like Jeremy Newsom will say, let your thing run a profit. Don't move your stop where you're insert here. But I said, I don't agree with that. Now I respect Jeremy, but this is another way to do it. And once you get comfortable with this, then you can let your trades run. So this is another way to look at it. I want you to consider it. So something like that, just so we're cohesive and it's not like we're undercutting each other. It's just, there are many different ways to take. This is another way I want you to think about it.
It makes perfect sense. I mean, we all have different levels of risk. Psychology is different, and our R a lot of times, like my R is, nowadays it's like, I'm so freaking happy with a 0.5 R. And then if I get 0.5 R, I could be done that day. And because when I'm consistently 0.5 or greater every day, I'm making a lot more than I make at Boeing.
Yeah.
It's just the idea is like, but that win-loss record, better be higher, when you're a less one-to-one risk reward. So there's that data there, but, and that's where I don't talk about it at all, but in my own observation, there's the 10 EMAs, you need almost all 14 sessions to build it and tie it all together before you go live money with 10 EMA, because 10 EMA by itself if you get in on a bullish trend for the first few days, your confidence can go through the roof. Well, are you ready for that chop? Are you ready for, some of that? Well, it broke down, created a new lower low, and you can't be biased, so
see, that's a beautiful thing that I've been encountering now is like it's like, all right, go ahead and back trade 10 EMA. And they're like, well, I only won like 50%. I'm like, 50% is really good. And then I'm like, watch this. Now I want you to look at the 10 crossing through the VWAP or crossing below. I guarantee you it's going to improve your trading. Then they come back to like, wow. Then you layer in the 20, 50 to 10, or the 20, 50, 100, 200. Wow. Then when I have a perfect chart set up where it's like double bottom, 10 VWAP crossover, hammer candle, 10 EMA, at a support, starting to creep above those EMAs. I'm like, this is perfect. This is what you want to see. And then it's like a light bulb, like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense now. It all clicks. And that's why I tell them, I said, I always show my chart at the beginning. I'm like, does this look overwhelming? They're like, yeah. I'm like, when you're done, you'll know what everything on here is. You'll be able to put it all together. And that's the beauty. And that's one of the things that I hit whenever we get to the end. I'm like, look at my chart. What did I tell you when we started? Do you know what everything means? Yeah. You're ready. You're ready to trade real money. Mm-hmm. Now, some people I've had to tell you're
not ready.
So that's the processes right now. So these are the things that just in the short term that I need help with. Because like I said, my job is going to be to build the sustaining model where I'm always bringing in new clients. And I'm still part of the coaching because I love it. I love doing it, but I'm also trading, and that with the sales and trying to do a ton of the coaching, it's just, it's a lot. So, and eventually the way this will evolve for you is you can use this as your guaranteed source of income as you're growing in your trading. And then once you get to the point where you're killing it, then you could do the same thing. You can start to pull yourself out. And then we have, hopefully by that time, a team of coaches to where we just spread the wealth. And then we're making profits off of this, but our trading is where our primary,
the bread and butter. Yep. This is, I couldn't be on board more. This is great. So my time zone really does aid because market closes noon for me.
Okay.
And so I know we just got to figure out, and again, I don't think it's the biggest concern as we got to figure out the next 2 weeks, because that everything you need help with, desire, and imagine, there is nothing to hinder it 15 June on.
Yeah.
How we communicate, peel some away, maintain understanding what's going on over the next 2 weeks. That's the only concern I've got. Darn it.
The good thing though, Jake, is next week I have Monday shut off and I have that Friday shut off. So I have three day. I mean, I could plow through this. I can plow through 2 more weeks. Just put my head down and grind through it. Like I can get that done. And then if you could pull some of it, or if you have some free time in some spots, then that's
Tuesday really is my bread and butter to go in and formally communicate my exit strategy. So I was going to be off all next week, but if I work Tuesday, then that seals the deal. I've got it in writing. Because if I put that off, because I am gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if I put that off a whole nother week, well, that shifts our planet clear out to like the third week of June. So
then if I really, you got to do what you focus on what's best for you and your family. I like I said, I can make it work. I'll make it work. I'll get it done.
Well, Tuesday's the where I'm focusing on exiting W2. That's what I mean on that. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is I'm off the net anchors. That's family stuff.
Yep.
And then And then the following week, just a couple late evenings, I'll look at your schedule on that. Switch over to the 5th of June. So again, this is Eastern Standard Time. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I'm looking at your calendar. That's all Eastern Standard Time, right?
Yep.
So 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is 10 a.m. my time. Yeah. So actually your stuff is relatively earlier than I thought. Yeah. 5. Okay. Yeah. So really the 5 p.m. on is prime time for me.
And so that would be perfect, because then what I could say is like, hey, the calendar is going to be opened and you tell me what time. And then I'll open my calendar here from 5 to whenever. And then people can schedule sessions there. And then whatever that is, then you're just picking those ones up.
Yeah. And again, I'm getting our time zones screwed up here. So really, it's 8 p.m. Really 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on is golden. Come 15 June though, it's everything's wide open there.
Okay. And things start to clear out a tiny bit, but people really haven't started signing up. And a lot of these are just discovery calls. But here's what's going to happen too, because I'm off the grid in July. And I've been communicating that with everybody. I'll probably fit some in, but what's going to happen is these are going to start filling up to where it's loaded. So I know June's still going to be, it's going to be tight. But I've communicated it, and whenever I'm off the grid, I'm still going to be checking in if people need something. I'll give them, all right, hey, you really just need to back trade and practice this time. Like you could still be moving forward without me. So.
Yep. But I will be available. My wife will be working. Daughter's actually got a job this summer. I may not have more than a couple days here and there where I'm going to go get my salmon for the year. I mean, I just had smoked salmon for breakfast, and I'm going to go fishing. So July, actually, you're off the grid. There's definitely opportunity for it to almost be transparent to a lot of folks, and I can keep a lot of sessions going on. Because I'm full-time RYD and trading. That's going to be really my first full month of enjoying this new life, and I'm very motivated. So definitely every decision you make going with July, know that you've got me there, and I don't have any hard commitments right now.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do too is I'm going to send out an email to all the clients this week that just says, hey, like to welcome Jake aboard, profitable trader who's gone through the Replace Your Dollar program, top-notch human being. If you want to send me like a little snippet on your bio, I could put that stuff in there. And then, I'll just say this opens up the calendar for sessions into the evening. You'll just have to send me what those times are. And, I'll send it to you to look at before I blast it out, but I'll put it out at some point this week. And then I know I threw a bunch at you, but like really what would be helpful is for you to kind of process this and be like, all right, because here's what I need. I need a system. I need a system to be created that we follow that keeps everything humming efficiently. So that's kind of where, like, it's not just the coaching from you, but like, when you're looking at this, how do we make this leaner, tighter, more effective? Balls don't get dropped. Those kinds of things. So those blind spots that I know that I have.
How hard is it going to be to get things nested into a cycle? Meaning May, a beginner course kicks off. June, in other words, and you pick up new clients in May, but they know that, hey, not until like June 5th would be the first time the next group starts. That way they know, hey, we've got people signing up, we're coming in. Hey, it's 30 days from now, but here's when your next group starts. And then we basically could start like a beginner group, maybe first week of each month, based on screening, discovery calls the month prior. So people that sign up early in the month may have to wait 3 weeks, but those who are signed up at the end, hey, they might get a start the following week. Provide some predictability. And then we know that, hey, we've got now May group, really, they're kind of at that intermediate level, or at least that's where Jake's got them that far at that point. And if we have a different coach or a different itinerary going for that medium, because maybe we got this many beginners going, or I plan on actually just taking both, but I know I've worked with these guys through the beginner. I know where they're at, but it truly is called the intermediate.
Yeah.
And then at the advanced, it sounds like that's the options or calls. And unless I'm missing some of the key ingredients on the intermediate. But anyway, I think we know that, hey, at the beginning of each month, there's a new generation of beginners that we're starting, and then we could cycle them and track them monthly a lot easier. So here's our May group, here's our June group, here's our July group.
So that's exactly what I need. So Jake, if you can come up with that concept map or that framework that says this is our procedure that we follow, this is how we bring in, I need that, because Derek Waltz and I kind of talked through it, and he was like, well, it's rolling, they can come in whenever. I think that makes more sense, and I'm able to adjust this however I want because I'm the CEO of Replace Your Dollar. So
yeah,
it's that kind of stuff that's going to help, that we need. I don't have. So here's the thing. I'm not making excuses and saying I don't have the bandwidth. I do, but I also have to be judicious in how I'm using that bandwidth, to where, like, basically I'm sharing this with you and just to, cause you're a good dude and you're a profitable trader. Oh yeah. You just happen to be. But having someone kind of take those processes, create those systems, that's what you just said there. Like, even if you come up with like, all right, here's the system for new clients, here's the system for your remaining one-on-ones, here's the system, all right, implement, go, checklist, procedure, this is how we get it done, so there's no balls dropped kind of deal.
Yep. I'm going to be chewing on that a lot, and that actually will be a lot of my time just in the next week. Is I'll want to start mind mapping that and working that out. I really do think you've answered all my questions on email, and disregard some of those, because I needed to really partner. Is it an adjective or a pronoun? And that is significantly different. You answered all of that in this question.
Okay.
So don't read into any of that. But some of the other questions are like, like the LLC accountant, when you start bringing on partners as an adjective, one thing, but as a pronoun, how does that impact your relationship with RYU? And what about disclaimers? Do we need an upfront disclaimer on everything we do?
Probably.
We cross the line of talking about, because we are continually talking about RYU, create your economy, and these are VIPs, and so knowing that in advance is powerful. But at the same time, we're always pointing stuff to RLT, which again, synergy is awesome. But I know at one point in RYD, you kind of want to become you want your own brand kind of out there too, but it is a family. That's way too early to even answer those questions now, but that's kind of where my mind's going. So I want to protect the bottom line legally, morally, ethically, not overcommit anybody to anything. So the disclaimer is important. And then from my own perspective, I do have a business account. I've got my own lawyer. I don't have any tax accounting, but I'm basically independent contractor partnering with you on your business, so you don't change anything on your LLC. There's no partnership changes, and I'm just coming in as a partner, but an independent.
Yeah, this is more of just
party.
like,
is that?
Yeah, it's just like, it's like a team, like nothing. If this is more like, hey, here's an opportunity for you. I'm going to include you on everything. I want to share what the benefits that I've got from Replace Your Dollar. Like, it has helped me and served me so much. I want to keep working with it. But if I have an opportunity to pull you in, and then you take it and you can benefit from it, and then you're learning trading, and you have that safety net there, that, you know what I mean? I want you to have those benefits.
Yep.
And so, and then eventually it could get to the point where it's just like, all right, well, I'm like, just like the face, I'm pulling everybody in, and you're running, and then you have a team. Like, if we grow that big, or it could get to the point where real life trading is like, hey, we're buying Replace Your University. You know, I mean, that could happen too. So, you know, I can't.
I didn't understand that. Buying Replace Your University. I didn't get it.
Because Real Life Trading is talking about acquiring financial education companies. So there could be a chance where RLT is like, hey, we're buying out RYU, and it becomes like an even bigger company.
So you're like Jeremy Newsom's getting with Michael Lush saying, hey, we want to take over your company.
Create like a suit. Yeah. And then they just start buying up financial, and then they buy up their audience and they buy up their clients. And then this thing grows even more. So I'm not here to point this out. I'm not a partner owner of RYU or anything. So Michael said, I'm the CEO of Replace Your Dollar. Do whatever you want. You know, they take their percentage. Obviously they get paid. So I'm making Michael and team money. Right. But basically what I'm doing is I'm taking all the cuts that I'm getting with how you're helping me. I'm compensating you from what I'm getting through what we're doing with Replace Your Dollar.
We got it.
Yeah. So, and I don't want the money to be nothing to worry about, because it's there. Like we got to work that out, and we got to get something. I want just so you have something in writing. But the way that this gets sustained is the more clients that I'm pulling in, then that's only going to increase what you're getting, what I'm getting from this. And then, you know, like I said, you'll get to the point where you're making $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month trading, to where it doesn't, like this, it served its purpose for you, but we need to be grooming talent.
Yeah.
Because Replace Your Dollar, like we're helping people. We can't lose sight of that. Like I'm always going to coach, but you know, I can't be coaching from 9:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock.
Everything I needed to hear right there, because we're on the same page, because I really do believe the long-term, some of the key pillars we got to have, even as traders, is having, I believe, 7 streams of income. That's been my vision for about the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. You know, and that's what's common to millionaires. And trading is the money maker. But to have that additional stream of income, and then it's really tied to, it's adding value to my entrepreneurial desires. It's not distracting. You know, again, the coach is the teacher. But
and it makes you a better trader.
Well, that's what I mean. The coaching is the teacher. You know, it's our best teacher. But what I love, Jeremy, hearing you say is in it for the long haul, because trading, yes, that's what we do. That's what we are. But here is another passive stream of income where we get to, 3, 5, 7 years. It's much bigger than that. And so if we pull away from trading for a while, because again, you want to take every July off. You want to, maybe it's going to be June and July, you know, as the kids are out of school, and to have this other business. We've trained, we've prepared, we've got a robust network of people who can coach and train. I mean, it is a community, it's a family, it's nested with other success models like RLT, let alone RYU. We've got the right coaching mentors and support structure in place to make this successful. That's beautiful. So I know you got to go. I see you looking at your watch. So that was good for me to kind of better understand, Jeremy, what your vision is, where you're at, where your heart is. I understand the reason you're reaching out.
Here's what I need from you, Jake, is if you could just chew on this a little bit, if you could send me back just your thoughts on it, and just so I have something in writing, everything that you're going to need, even the numbers that we talked about, all that. So then I could draw up a document. So I want to be transparent and clear. So you and I have an agreement moving forward, so we know how this is all going to work. So if you could send me that, it doesn't have to be today. But whenever you get a second, just so I want to have, just to show you good faith, like, all right, here's a contract between you and I. This is what I'm going to do for you. Okay.
And I've got a good thought laid out already. Just peace of mind for my wife, let alone myself. It's around that 12,000, and then we'll allow the growing come in. And when that matches, you're no longer providing 12,000 to cover any deficit, but but we match that going forward. Pretty simple, I think. I think you'll like it. That way I got 100%, no stress out, and you're going to get 100% of Jake.
Sounds great, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Jeremy, I appreciate the time. And again, don't read into that other email too much, because you really did answer the questions. Those were tough questions, but just simple pronouns, adjectives, they mean different things. And I needed to understand exactly where you were, what was going on, what the relationships were with RYU, RLT. You got to drop. I'll see you. Have a blessed day. Happy day.
All right, see you, Jake.
Bye. Got it.